Good. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Friday morning safety meeting. My name is John Harden. This is Dave White. We're with the safety department. I want to welcome everybody this morning. We've got a packed house here in Springfield. Lots of energy out there. I love it. So good meeting lined up for you. A lot of guest speakers there, a lot of great speakers this morning. So we're going to get started here. It's already March 1st, so we're rolling through 2024 quickly.
Today's meteorological day of spring, first day of spring. Try saying that word, John. Meteorological. I don't know.
I'm going to let you say that
5 times.
I'm not going to. So,
yeah.
You know, we're closer to warmer weather, which is always a good thing in this business and industry. So we're going to get started here. First and foremost, let's thank John Blansett and his team for this great breakfast. I see a lot of you out there enjoying it. So thank you, John and team. Let's get started. We've got a packed house this morning. Let's go out east to Rick in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing great. You got a packed house too.
Hey, we do have a packed house, you know, and our family's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger every day, right?
Well, outstanding. Well, I see a lot of yellow vests up there as well. Why don't you grab one of those folks and let's talk to them for a second.
Hey, I can certainly do that. I had a volunteer already. She's going to come on up here.
Hey, perfect.
Let's go. Nice. Your name?
Juwan Clark.
Juwan, where are you from, Juwan?
South Carolina.
And how'd you make it here?
Actually, I found out about Prime through TikTok, actually. Surprisingly. It's a long story.
TikTok.
Okay, so Dave White is not responsible for recruiting this driver, for sure.
That is true.
So what's the experience like so far? Are you liking it, or?
I mean, I haven't seen nothing that made me want to leave yet, so I think that's a good thing, right?
That's a bonus. Do you have your CDL yet, or are you working on that?
I mean, I have my CDL, but it's not in Class A.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're working on your Class A.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you been down the pad yet?
No.
No. Well, you'll get down there, and trust me, you'll learn a lot down when you get down there.
I would hope so.
Well, I appreciate you coming up here, and thanks to the family, and thanks for coming in.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Hey, our family, like I said, our family is growing every day, and we had a great class this week. And is this working? Can you hear me? It's been a great class this week, and we just want to keep it going every week and do the best we can and get these drivers in and get them their CDL licenses and get them in a truck and making money. That's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely. So anything else going on up there in Piston this week?
One more time, John. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anything else going on up there in Piston this week that we need to be aware of?
Actually, we're going to have Rick give some updates on the terminal. We got some things going on here, so I'll pass it off to him. Hey, good morning, guys. Good to see you this morning. Beautiful day here in Piston, and I know you guys. Let me get over here. So, I know you guys see a lot of construction and a lot of projects going on here. So, just to give you a quick update, I appreciate everyone's patience while the showers upstairs have been getting redone. You know, we've been limited to just the 4 showers in the fitness center, and there's a line waiting on them. But thank you for your patience. And the patience is going to pay off next week. We're going to open these bathrooms and shower rooms back up upstairs by the bunk rooms. So those should be completed next week. They're brand new, completely remodeled. I think you'll enjoy it a little bit more than our old stuff. One thing we do at Prime, we're always improving. We're always building. We're always taking care of our associates, especially you guys over the road. When you come to a terminal, we know this is your home away from home, and we want to make it as nice as we can. So those showers will be open next week. A couple other projects real quick. We completed the patio outside during the summertime. You want to go sit out in some nice weather. We're going to have a grill area out there, sort of mimicking or copying what we do in Springfield and Salt Lake City. It's been a long time coming. We're all looking forward to that. And on the maintenance side, we have added some new paint booth equipment so we can get the body work done on your tractors completed in a more timely manner. We have a parts booth. We moved the paint booth over to the body shop where it's more convenient, a little bit more efficient. And I know last week at DAB, at the Driver Advisory Board, we mentioned getting an express bay here in Pittston. We're the only terminal that does not have an express bay. we're working on that. It's just a spatial challenge for us to find another pull-through bay, but pretty soon we'll have that express bay here as well. And we are just always doing what we can to make this a more pleasant and productive experience when you're terminal. So that's really all I have. Just wanted to give you an update on what's going on here. Some people have had questions this morning about some expansion down the road. We are under contract for some more property on this road right down by the training pad. And as soon as we can clear up a few environmental issues or letters, really, everything's cleared up with the current owners. We're just waiting on their clearance letters from the state. And hopefully we're going to be building down there real soon and making some more room here, because I know it's tough navigating around this yard with all the equipment that's on it. So again, we're always improving. If you have suggestions or need help whenever you're in a terminal, just find one of us, grab one of us, and we'll answer your questions or help you out. That's all I got, guys. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday, Rick. Quick question for you. Are you going to be the chef on that grill out there in Pittston, flipping burgers and dogs?
I will definitely flip some burgers and dogs. I'm probably not the best choice to do it, but I'm willing. I think the other Rick right here is probably better at flipping some burgers and dogs than I am.
I think I'll be on the other end of the grill, working the tap.
Okay, tap too. Yeah, that'll work too. Yeah, we're looking forward to it, man. We are.
All right. Well, we appreciate all the updates. That's a lot of great information. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please jump in and let us know. So let's jump on west. Let's go to Salt Lake City. We've got Aaron and Victoria out there this morning.
Good morning, guys. Actually, you just got Aaron. We've got Tyler out today, and Victoria didn't make it. So I brought my good friend Dante here that just came to Prime. He's going to talk a little bit about why he came here and what he hopes to accomplish. Go ahead, Dante. Hold that up to your head. There you go.
Okay, my name's Dante, and I came to Prime just to get greater opportunities to learn something new and strive to do better in Prime.
Dante is one of our PSD students. He's here to work to get his CDL. So we're excited about him starting his journey with Prime, and look forward to him being a great success with us.
Hey, Aaron, where's Dante from, and what did he do before he came to Prime?
Where are you from, Dante?
Provo, Utah.
Yeah, he's from right here in Utah. One of our Provo guys lives right here close to Salt Lake City.
Outstanding. Well, we're glad that you're here, Dante, and hope you have a great success story here. If you have any questions, somebody here at Prime could answer them for you. Please don't hesitate to ask. So, Aaron, if you have anything for us, just make sure you let us know. Anything else going on out there that we want to know about?
Sure. I'd just like to let everyone know we've got a little bit of a storm coming in this weekend, and ahead of that, we've got a lot of high winds. So anyone with a light trailer or an empty trailer coming across I-80 towards Salt Lake, just be real careful with that, and be aware of the wind conditions, because that can get up on you real quick.
All right, we appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to have some wind all across the country here. I know that we're supposed to see gusts maybe close to 40 miles per hour around the Southwest Missouri area here on Sunday. So everyone be mindful of that. Check your weather apps. Make sure that you know what you're getting into when you're out there on the road. You ready to bring it back here, Dave?
Let's bring it back.
All right. Well, good morning. Welcome, Springfield. Crowded.
I think
they'd
must
be
be
more
eating.
lively.
Yeah, really. I think
Yeah.
they've been eating, man. That's good food out there, though. I saw a couple steaks come through and some eggs and all
Yes,
that.
we've
And all
got
that's
a-
good.
We've got a good line going back here, so not everybody's in their seats yet, but welcome. Good morning. We're glad that you're here. You know, the common theme here, we see some yellow vests here, and that typically means that we've got some new students here on the yard. So what we'd like to do is, for anybody that this is their first week at Prime, or if this is just your first safety meeting, go ahead and stand up and let us welcome you to the Prime family. At all locations, please. All right. Well, we're glad that you're here. And, you know, like we say every week, we know that we did your research, or our research on you, and we hope that you did your research on us. And, you know, this is just a great company to work for. And you'll see a lot of folks up here standing. A lot of these folks are going to present this morning, give you some valuable information to help your business be successful and give you every opportunity to succeed out there on the road. So Prime's a very transparent company. If you're new here, if you've been here for a few months, you know, this card basically gets you into any of our terminals. Come up, see your fleet manager, see your payroll associate, see your road assist associate. Come talk to us in safety. You know, you don't have to have anything going wrong to come and talk to us. We're here to answer questions. If we don't know the answer to those questions, somebody here in this building does, and we'll get you in front of that person to take care of you.
Yeah, John's right on. We're about being transparent and trying, making you successful. And that's what this is about. So for all you new folks getting into trucking, you're coming into a brand new industry, and this can be very challenging. And just like, we're talking about weather, usually we're talking snow and ice, and all that, which is kind of going on over by Donner, and Aaron brought that up coming into Utah. But winds, that can be a factor real quick. It could be a sunny day out there and you get a 60, 70 mile an hour gust and you will feel it in your truck. And if you're lightweight or you're empty, you're going to feel it even more. So, be aware of your weather conditions. Watch those weather apps. Know where you're going. Plan your trip, but just don't plan it for scales and enforcement and what road you're going to be on. But plan for the weather too. Be looking ahead, looking out there, what's going on, and and be prepared for it. If it starts getting too windy or too gusty or whatever the road weather turns into, hey, look for a place to park. Usually you would sit it out for a few hours, let your fleet manager know, and we'll move on from there, and it'll be okay. We just don't want you involved in an accident. And same thing with somebody else hitting you as well, and that's always a concern. And yeah, it may be non-preventable. Somebody changes lanes and hits you, but still you got damage on your truck or damage on your trailer. We got to address that. And it's not always black and white out there as far as accidents go. So try to just stay away, stay out of all of them, and it'll make you much more successful around here. So.
Absolutely. Great point. So let's hop right into some numbers here.
Yeah. So our inspections this past week, we had 131 inspections. 94 of those were clean. So a 72% clean rate. So give yourself a round of applause. Yeah, we're in the 70s again. This past week, I got to review them, and usually where our inspections go, Dennis Davis, our safety director, he looks at every one of them, and then he passes them off to one of us safety supervisors, which is John, myself, Bill, or Rick. And we take a look at them, we sign off on them, and then we look at the driver's history and see if we need to, bring them in or counsel them or talk to them about certain violations. Well, this week it was more maintenance on the maintenance side, and it was lighting. And so be aware, you're out there on the road, you got a headlight that's burnt out, or you got or one of those lamps on your truck that's required to be, illuminated, and it's burnt out. That just gives the officer an easy reason to stop you. And usually what happens is he stops you for that. Then they start looking at your hours of service. Then they want to go to here. They want to look at the full maintenance on the truck. And just one thing leads to another. So be prepared when you stop. Whenever you stop, do a walk around. Make sure all your lights are working. Make sure all your four-ways are on, brake lights working, the whole 9 yards. Just don't do that in the morning and the evening. You want to do it anytime you stop. So if you have an issue, you can address it and get it fixed before you hit the road. And, speaking of that, I might give a little plug to our pro maintenance class. If you don't know how to change a light bulb or fix your mud flap, areas like that, take that pro maintenance class. Talk to your fleet manager. They'll get you signed up. It's right here in Springfield. If you're here, I know they're going to start one out in Salt Lake too as well. And hey, get involved in it. It's big. It's about learning. If you're like me, I wasn't that mechanically challenged or mechanically inclined when I was younger and when I drove. I wish I had a pro maintenance class. There's many times I was out on the road, I had to figure stuff out on my own, and usually that's a little bit tougher. If you can take a class and get educated on how change a light bulb on your truck or change the lamp on the trailer, that makes it a little bit easier when the time comes and you need to do it. So take that pro maintenance class, highly advised of it. So Other than that, John, we did pretty well as far as moving violations and all that, and not too bad this past week.
We did. And one thing about the pro maintenance class, Trent Ferris has been up here a number of times, and he's going to be up here, I think, next week as well to talk about it. But, I don't think you need to sign up. So if you're here at the terminal today, Trent, raise your hand over here in the corner. There we go. That's just Trent right here. He teaches our pro maintenance classes. It's at 1 or 1:30 every day. 1 o'clock every day. So if you're here on the yard, you know you're going to be here the rest of the day and you haven't taken it, now's a great time to go do that.
And last week, Johnny, you and I, we had the privilege, along with Stan Casterkey, we're up at the Missouri Trucking Association Safety Conference, and they had a number of different panels. And one of them I think we wanted to talk about was the enforcement panel. And there was an officer there within the Missouri Highway Patrol, and he says the number one violation that they stop trucks for is lighting. To circle back to that, that's a give me, and that's what he said too. So, make sure you're prepared on that. But, he talked about hours of service too as well. You want to talk about that a little bit?
We are, and you know, we're going to probably save a little bit of that
That's
because
true.
we've got our log department over here to talk about that. But you know, the general theme from this enforcement panel, you know, we had a couple of highway patrolmen up there. We had a MoDOT official. We had an FMCSA official up there. And they talked specifically about these roadside inspections. And just listening to them, the ones that don't pass, they fail before they even start. So we're going to jump into that. We're going to address that. And we're going to hopefully prepare you guys. You know, we're going to get logs and we're going to get Stan Kastricky up here to talk about that specifically today.
And they understand too, when you get stopped, man, you're nervous, and that's normal. That's normal behavior, and they get that, the enforcement side does. So, you know, just make sure you're prepared. At the end of the day, you got to be prepared and you have everything ready for that inspection in order to pass it. And, you know, it's funny because I talked to him, John, I talked to Sergeant Abrams, I believe was his name, was up on the panel. And I introduced myself. He goes, you know what? I have very few problems with prime trucks. He goes, you guys, we hardly ever stop you because we don't need to, you know, and when we do, you guys do a good job. So he gave kudos to our training program, but you know, we're one of these carriers that, you know, being adequate's not good enough. We always want to be better. And so anything we could do to make our driving force better, that's what it's about. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that here in a few minutes and get some people up here. But other than that, you know, very successful conference. We were awarded the 15 million mile #1 carrier in the state for trucking. So got first place in that. So yeah, give yourself a round of applause. And I know these were announced last week too, as well, when Dennis got back. But you know, Thomas Miller was awarded Driver of the Year again, so he'll be in competition for ATA's Driver of the Year, and that's a very big award too, as well. So great, you know, kudos to him, and you know, bottom line, kudos to our drivers, because you guys are what's doing out there. You're the one stays out of these accidents and make us a safe carrier. John and I, we're just in here to support you, and that's what this is about. And anything we can do for you, make sure you ask. So,
All right, well, let's jump into our speakers here. Let's get Colby up here, driver health and fitness. Are you bringing Rachel with you?
he's not bringing his coffee cup this time. So, oh, what do you got there, man?
I got some toys, not really.
All right.
So actually, not well, you can eat them, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, hey, everybody, good morning. I'm Colby, Driver Health and Fitness. This is Rachel.
Good morning.
So every week, and we don't want to take it lightly, we always come on, we have a health tip for you guys. Usually it's about fitness, exercise, nutrition. This one, if Brianna pull it up, this one I really want to talk about today is hygiene. And I mean about hygiene is just taking care of yourself. Really, ultimately, what it comes down to is have love and respect and appreciation for yourself. So what we can do is, like I said, there's a lot of options for you on the road. There's a lot of benefits to good hygiene. It could be, whether it be self-esteem, obviously it could be, there's a couple of them right there. Yeah. So preventing any kind of tooth decay, pain, things like that. Ultimately is having respect and caring for yourself. There's a lot of solutions. I know Sam with the fuel team, we got a great agreement with a lot of good truck stops and things like that for showers and stuff, but sometimes you got to manage things on the road. So I brought up a couple things, some ideas. Actually, in talking to drivers, we've got different things like total body wipes. If you can't make it to a shower, there's throwaway disposable wipes. This is a great one for dental hygiene. It's just a single wisp, it's called. You can use to brush your teeth if you don't have water, things like that. There's just so many benefits to it. I actually have the next slide on there that I think is awesome. And this is just a general quote. Like I said here, and I think this is a perfect for you guys and anybody. Good hygiene can help you feel good in your own skin, giving you confidence, assisting your social interactions, and helping you be engaged and productive in all areas of life. That is so true. So I just want to leave you with, take pride in yourself, whatever we can do. We've got suggestions and things like that. Obviously, these are some. I have them here if you want to see them. And ultimately, like I said, today is really about hygiene, helping take care of yourself in any facet we can. So Rachel wants to give a little update on something else.
And real quick too, with that, if that's one of your hangups to like working out on the truck and exercising on the truck, just know that this is a solution that other drivers use. You know, if you don't have time to get a full shower in, you can use some of these, and it is something that other drivers use. So
It is.
yeah.
So one other thing I'll say, and then you can add to it. And I wanted to say it's really important. Heather's going to elaborate on it. Another big part of hygiene is sleep. A lot of these things can help. Obviously, a good shower, a good teeth brush, things like that, good oral hygiene can help. But sleep is really important to your hygiene. So Heather will elaborate on that too. But go ahead. You got an update on our Fit in 15?
Yeah, so our Fit in 15 program is going strong. We're over halfway through. If this is something that you want to join in the future, just come talk to us. It's a weight control competition. And next week we are doing a prize drawing. So everyone above 80 plus points, they're going to, be entered into a prize drawing. So if that is something you want to join in the future, just let us know.
Got it. Awesome. If you guys have any questions, we're always here to help you guys. Anybody got one? Anything? Okay. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Hygiene.
Hygiene, I like it.
Hygiene.
Good morning and
Here
thank
we
you.
go.
All right. Well, these guys are available upstairs here. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. They're going to hang out over here for a little bit as well. So, you know, as David mentioned a little bit earlier on these inspections that we heard from this law enforcement panel, we're going to bring Donna up here from our log department to talk next. And one of the things that they mentioned, you know, the officers, they primarily work I-70 in Missouri. So it's, you know, it's a pretty small, you know, area that they're in charge of in comparison to the lower 48 states. But the statistic they gave us was that whenever they pull somebody over for a level 1 DOT inspection, they guesstimated that 75% of the drivers that they talk to don't know how to transfer their e-logs. And, you know, they were very lenient in how they discussed it. And I'm guessing that other states aren't probably as lenient as these guys were being, because they're saying, you know, if a level 1 inspection takes 45, 50 minutes, the drivers didn't have, at 45 minutes, they still didn't know how to transfer them, even calling into their company, anything like that. So we're going to bring Donna up here, and she's going to specifically talk about this a little bit, and with some other things I know. So good morning, Donna.
How are you? All right, so my name is Donna, and I'm from the log department. And we just do want to cover a few items on DOT inspections and how to be successful at getting through one. One of the biggest things, like John said, was not knowing how to send E-rods. But first things first, some important things before you even get on the road to have is making sure you have that paper logbook on the truck. So paper logbooks you can get at any one of the terminals. Take what you need and make sure that every single person on that truck has one for themselves. Another item to think about is the Qualcomm. The Qualcomm, make sure it is kept in the bracket at all times. It cannot be laying on the seat next to you, on the floor, or anywhere else. And make sure that you are able to extend that Qualcomm out the window for the officer to view. So if your cable is not long enough, you can go to any one of the terminals, go to the shop, and ask them if they can get you longer cable or have it and make sure it extends out. Another item to think about too is when you're at the inspections, make sure, number one, from the beginning, go on duty. So make sure your status is changed to on duty and make sure you keep your seatbelt on at all times. That way you can ensure you can have your book within arm's reach, whether it be on the side, driver's side door, in your permit book would be a good spot, but anywhere you can have easy access to it. All right, so with the inspections, we do have a slide up top that's going to just give a little walkthrough and what the screens actually in fact look like. Now, in the very back of your paper logbook is in fact the instruction sheet. Make sure you have the book open to that instruction sheet. Everything will be there. Just follow the directions step by step, and it will get you to where you need to go. So from the main screen of your Qualcomm, you're going to select the hours of service application. Once you're there, you're going to go to the tab at the top that says day log. Once you select the day log tab, you're going to see at the bottom of the screen buttons. One says E-rods. So you're going to select the E-rods button. Once you do that, we just go back one slide. Sorry. If you go at the bottom where it says E-rods, you're going to select that button, and the slide next to it is going to show what the file transfer page looks like. Now, one of the things that I've seen where we get tripped up is knowing what web services is. So if you look to the left, there are two ways that you can send your logs. It's either going to be through email or web services. So if you are given a code, a badge number, or some sort of mix of letters and numbers, that's going to signify he wants it through the web service option. Email, you'll obviously get an email address. Once you select and highlight the dot next to that option, go to the middle to the comment box. This is where you'll enter in the email, the code or badge number, and simply by tapping the box, your keyboard will pop up. Type it in, and then take the keyboard away. You'll see a send button, and at the bottom there, you'll see you will get confirmation that the logs have been processing, and you will also get confirmation that they have been received as well. Okay. Now, another item that we are in fact seeing too is not knowing where the user manual was. So we in fact did have one inspection come in this week where it says that a failed inspection for not knowing where the user manual was. Now, the user manual is not a book, it's actually electronic. It is located in your Qualcomm unit. So if we go to the next slide, again, if you hit your home button and get back to the main screen of the unit, if you go to the right-hand side of the screen, there's going to be a little arrow. If you select that arrow, it will bring you to a page 2 of applications. Down at the bottom right corner, there is an icon that's a book, and it says user manual at the bottom. Once you select that, it will populate to select the language, click a language, and then you'll be on the screen where there'll be multiple boxes stacked with different topics inside. And if you click a box, it will open up to give you information about the IVG perhaps, hours of service, but certain different topics to look at. Now, also with the, apologize. Going back to the main screen of the unit. Now, what happens if you do not have your paper logbook? Something happens to it, it gets lost. You can go to any truck stop and purchase a paper logbook for yourself. Now, the only issue is in that paper logbook, you will not have the instruction sheet. The instruction sheet can also be found in multiple different places. Number one is your app, okay? That's going to be your source for a lot of information. If you go to the app and you select hours of service, not only will you see your hours, your recaps, log points, if you scroll to the bottom of that page, hyperlinked will be user manual and the instruction sheet. If you go to the document section of the Prime app, you will also find the hyperlink word of instruction sheet and user manual. And if you simply go to your your permit book, you will see the instruction sheet. And now the permit department has also been stapling 4 pages of paper logs, so you have your 8 graphs available as well. But again, the paper log is important because not only is it going to get you successfully through a DOT inspection, it is also your backup plan if your Qualcomm goes down. So important to know, if you have any Qualcomm issues, if you see something, say something, you must contact the log department within 24 hours. We can take a look at the issue. It could be perhaps something that could just simply be fixed while you're on the road. Or if it is something, we can signify whether you do in fact need to go on paper logs. We can get you set up on those paper logs. But the importance is it's your secondary record of duty status to record on. If you go to the very back last page of your paper logbook, you will actually see an example with some directions as well. So you have a little reference material that's going to show you what a completed graph does in fact look like. Okay, but we can walk you through the steps, get you set up. We will also need to provide you with an email of your last 7 days of logs. You must have them on hand for the officer to show 7 days, and everything moving forward will be on your paper log. Okay, but make sure you're contacting the log department. Okay, I think that was it. Anybody have any questions or anything regarding the inspections?
Pittston, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Hey, the forms that you had up on the screen, are they a part of the stuff that you're entering into the, that you're stapling together with those 4 log pages in the permit book?
No, so that is just what the actual Qualcomm screen is going to look like. But the instruction sheet that's stapled, that's the one that's going to be in the back of the paper logbook.
Okay.
But it also does, the instruction sheet will actually give you pictorials as well as a commentary, so you know exactly what you should be looking for in the unit.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, any questions here in Springfield? So, you know, that was a lot of information, I know. And I saw some of you out there thinking, okay, I'm not going to remember all this. So the best thing to do if you have a question is to call your log advisor. Anybody that's here at a terminal, Pittston, Salt Lake City, you know, stop by and talk to a log advisor. They sit right behind driver lineup in the plaza building out here whenever you come into the terminal. Stop by, even if your log advisor is not there. Anybody can help you out. Grab paper logbooks before you leave here if you don't have one on your tractor. And when is the ELD class offered?
Okay, so we have log classes every single day, well, almost Monday through Friday at each one of our terminals. And depending on the terminal you go to will be dependent upon the time. But here in Springfield, they are at 1:30 in the Plaza building in the multi-purpose room. And anybody, it's open classes, just come.
And they simulcast those to the other
We
terminals.
simulcast at the same time to Salt Lake as well as Pittston. We
Perfect.
all take it together.
How long does that class last?
Class is 2 hours. If I'm teaching it, it's probably not.
All right. So, you know, again, couple hours there, valuable information. If you have any questions or if you haven't had it in a while, you just want a refresher, you know, feel free to stop in anytime. So Donna, we appreciate it.
Thank
Donna
you
will probably
very
hang
much.
around here if anybody thinks of a question. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good morning.
John, I love that accent, New Jersey accent she has.
She does.
That's New York. Oh man, I messed that up. That was New York, man. See, I don't even know what I'm talking about again.
The Ozarks haven't taken it away from her.
No, that's the thing about trucking, man. You meet people from all different areas of the country and of the world sometimes, and it's awesome, man. You just get to know them, and they come to work for us. That's great.
Absolutely. So we're going to bring up Stan Casterkey next. And as Dave mentioned earlier, Stan, Dave, and I, we went to the Missouri Trucking Association Safety Conference last week. Stan's ready for baseball, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you switched alliances from the Chiefs to the Cardinals.
Hey, that's a good alliance to
No,
switch
there's
to.
no switching. I'm just wanting spring to get here. There's no switching.
So we're going to talk a little bit about this conference, and I'd like to do something real quick. At all three terminals, if you've been out there on the road for a year or longer, whether it's here, another carrier, whatever, go ahead and stand up right now. Whether you're an A seat, a B seat, if you've been out on the road for 1 year or longer, stand up. All three terminals. Perfect. You got to keep standing up. I didn't say that. So if you've had a DOT inspection in the past year, remain standing. If you haven't had one in the past 12 months, sit down. If you've had 2 in the past year, remain standing. If you haven't had 2 or more, go ahead and sit down. So we whittled down the room pretty quickly, right? So we've got maybe 3, 4 folks still standing up. So, okay, that's just going to feed into our point, and I'm hoping the whole room wasn't standing up. That would have defeated everything we're getting ready to talk about. So Stan's going to talk to us a little bit about these DOT inspections. You are free to sit down now, yes? And, as you see, these aren't something that happen on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So what are you doing to be prepared for these inspections? And Stan, you're going to implement some stuff here at the terminals, at all three terminals, to maybe help with this a little bit.
Right. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for what you do. So for those of you who stood up, who've been through 2 DOT inspections in the last year, it's always a great time. You love to see an enforcement officer walking toward your truck and say, driver, pull it around. Then you get all of that questions about, I need to see your credentials and things like that. We don't have those often enough that we stay in practice at it. So we're going to implement a process here, and it's going to take just a little bit of time, but we're going to implement a process to where when a person goes into their own truck, whenever they get their truck all set up, we want to inspect that truck, not the truck, but we want to take them through kind of a mock DOT inspection. This is not to ding anybody. If you know me at all, I'm not looking for ways to ding anyone. I'm looking for ways to help and encourage people to do better. And if you've never been through that, you have no clue of what that is. You dread it, but you have no clue of what it is. So we'll actually have you bring your truck over, or maybe we'll meet you outside of leasing, or however that's going to work. We want to make it convenient for you. And we're going to ask you for your logbook, for your permit book. We're going to ask you some questions. We're probably going to kind of walk around your truck and look at it and have you walk with us so you know what that DOT officer is going to be looking for. There are a lot of videos online about it. I just watched one yesterday in Indiana. Highway Patrol commercial motor vehicle inspector did a really good inspection. I've actually asked Highway Patrol here in Missouri to do a video for us to talk about what their expectations are and how they're going to do a level 1 inspection up through whichever level that is. But typically a level 1 or level 2 is what we're going to be seeing. So, just like David talked about a little bit ago, the number 1 violation is lights. And anybody know why that is? I don't have a gift, but anybody? It's the first thing you see, right? Exactly. Maybe there's a mud flap hanging or that's not there, something like that. But if you're doing your vehicle inspection, checking your lights, that's could have a tendency for you not to get inspected if you're doing your vehicle inspection. On the CDL training side of it, we talk about lights, and I think there are some people who think, well, we're just need to do this just to pass the CDL exam. Well, that isn't the case. It's practice now for the rest of your career in the trucking industry. So kind of a little highlight there. We just started talking about this at the conference, actually, John and David and I. And so we're gonna start doing this. I think it's really exciting. I don't want anyone to dread it. But if you have any questions, I sit over in the Plaza building. And we can, well, my phone number is 417-521-3299. That's my direct line, and it rings to my cell phone 24/366 on leap year. Okay. So if you have anything at all, let me know. But are there any questions right now?
At the conference, you said there was a gentleman there that actually was a driver that talked about how he approached it. Would you elaborate on that too? Because he had an interesting little way he.
Sure. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for asking that. So it was Kevin,
Kenneth Tolliver.
Tolliver was his name. Go ahead.
So yeah, he's the grand champion, tank carrier driver of the year. And, you know, he went right after this enforcement panel and he really fed off of that and gave some valuable information and kind of where we got the idea from, really. He keeps a note card in his tractor, that we will provide for everybody that's upgrading. And he said once a month, he'll go through that note card and just make sure that he refreshes his memory and stays sharp. You know, you get in those situations and I've been pulled over before and you kind of get panicky and a little bit nervous. So, you know, you maybe not be thinking clearly. So, you know, just like anything in life, the more you practice, the more comfortable you're going to be with it and the better success rate you're going to have. So that's really the goal of this. You know, we don't want anybody to fail an inspection before it even starts by not knowing where some basic documentation is, like your permits, your medical card, your paper logbook, you know, everything that we've been talking about up here. So this is really where that came from.
Right. Yeah. And we'll have that information. We'll put those cards together. You know, looking at the violations for the last week, I saw 2 on there where drivers didn't have their driver's license with them. It wasn't that they didn't have driver's license. Now, I'm not going to ask you all to pull out your CDL right now, but think about that. Make sure you know where your credentials are at. Your driver's license, if you're a PSD, where your permit's at. And I guess I'll challenge our outside locations today, whenever we get done with this meeting, Aaron and Rick or Blake or somebody, have those PSDs, have them show them your permit, their permit and their driver's license. Let's make sure we have those. Instructors, trainers, make sure you're helping them understand that they have to have those credentials with them. That's pretty easy stuff there. One other thing that I just want to real quickly talk about, it looks like we're going to be certified to do the modernized testing standards in Utah about the middle part of this month. Aaron had sent me an email that he'd gotten from the CDL coordinator there in Utah, probably certified. I think it was around the 20th of this month, something like that. So we'll be doing CDL testing on the modernized standard here within the next month for sure. Okay. Thank you for what you do. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I keep you in my prayers every day, maybe not individual by name, but I pray for you while you're out on the road. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Stan.
You know, one other thing, and you brought it up, and we need to talk about it because it's, you know, it's pretty much a guarantee. You talk about the marker lights, you know, that's why you get pulled over, because those are very visible. But how many trucks do you see out there at truck stops or driving down the road that have 6 months worth of bills of lading piled up on the dash, some McDonald's bags, you know, stuff piled up in the passenger seat? I mean, those are just green lights to get pulled into an inspection for.
And Colby brought up, you know, hygiene of the driver too. And that all factors in as these inspectors, you know, if they're going to look at you, you know, they understand you got a tough life. You may not be able to get a shower every day, but at least every other day you should be able to. And if you can't, you know, Colby and Rachel brought up some good points about, you know, alternatives, but just making yourself presentable, that means a lot to the officer in your truck. You know, that's another, just like John said, that all factors in, trying to make sure it's clean. And this time of the year, it's really tough to keep your truck clean when you got snow and ice and then rain and then everything else is mixing in. Your truck turns different colors out there on the road. But when you get a chance to get it clean, that will influence the inspector as well too. So
absolutely. Take care of that equipment. The better it looks, the more likely you're not going to be pulled in for an inspection.
There you go. What do you got next for Johnny? I think we got Heather, don't we?
We do. We're going to bring Heather up
Awesome.
at Cardinal Sleep.
Good deal. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Heather, and I am with Cardinal Sleep. So I'm going to talk about sleep. This month is National Sleep Awareness Month and also National Sleep Apnea Awareness Month. So we're going to talk about everything that has to do with sleep all month. The big thing I'm going to focus on today, though, is just basic sleep. I think that it's really important, and we're going to find out why. I'm going to bring like 3 little facts to every meeting, but the first one I looked up the Google facts. The National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration says 100,000 police-reported crashes and 1,500 deaths are contributed to drowsy driving each year. So that is huge, especially if you are driving a truck. So that's a big thing. Another fact is 40,000 people have reported, 40,000 people a year report driving drowsy. So that's a huge number of people that are reporting that they are driving drowsy. Let's see what else I got. Being awake for more than 20 hours is equal to 0.08 alcohol concentration, which is the legal limit in all states. So that is big, and that is why sleep is so important, especially in this occupation. If you do not get good sleep, there are a lot of things that happen with your body. Your immune system takes a huge hit, so you're going to get colds, you're going to get the flu, you're going to be sick a lot more frequently. Your risk of cancer and heart disease goes up when you don't get enough sleep, so that's a big one. Weight gain is another thing that happens. You put yourself at risk for type 2 diabetes. Foggy brain or memory issues, that's a big one. I definitely know that when I don't get enough sleep, that's the first thing I notice. And so there are a lot of reasons and a lot of things that, you need to get your good sleep for. And I know that that is really difficult for drivers. So the 3 things that the Mayo Clinic says are important in getting good sleep. The number one thing that pretty much everybody says, Healthline, Mayo Clinic, Harvard, is a schedule. And I know that as a driver, that is very, very difficult to be on a schedule. But that's the number one important thing. The second important thing is exercise and eating habits. Again, that is difficult for drivers, but it is really important. And exercise has a huge impact on how well you sleep. The third one, which is something that's really increased in the last several years, is screen time. So everybody kind of knows that they have to control that, put it down when it's time to go to bed. But I wouldn't present you with any issues unless we have some resolution. So those 3 things, the exercise, the schedule, Driver Health and Fitness is a huge resource here, and they are going to be able to help you with all those things. I highly encourage you to take advantage of them. There's Colby and Rachel here, Matt in Salt Lake City, and Maria in Pittston. They're going to be able to give you tools on how to put that schedule in place and work around driving. That's their specialty, is drivers. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of that. As far as sleep disorders, if you're high risk or you have sleep disorders, these things are not going to help you until you get that checked out. So I want to encourage everybody. We're going to talk pretty big on sleep apnea next week. I'm trying to just get you really on the focus on sleep this week. But I do have some free pens to pass out with our information. When you take one, you've got to take a questionnaire that gives you 8 little questions just to see if you are at high risk for sleep disorders. And that is big, and that's the one that I can help you the most with. And my team, I've got Amber in Salt Lake City and Paige in Pittston. So they also have the questionnaires out there and the pens, but those are, come and get a pen, take a questionnaire. We won't make you fill it out right here, but we do want you to read it. It's 8 questions just to give yourself an idea of, hey, even if I do these things, is it going to make a big difference? Do I need to get checked out for a sleep disorder? Do I need to see if I have sleep apnea? I know it's not everyone's favorite subject, but it is really important. If you follow the 3 things, that were suggested, and you go to Driver Health and Fitness and you get some help with those things, they're only going to help if you're at risk for this, if you check it out first. We're here for that. We want to help with anything, any questions. And I promise you, any questions that you have, if I can't answer or my team can't answer, we have a network of board certified sleep physicians, and we will take that question to them and get you an answer. But in transportation, sleep is really, really big. It's really important health wise. It's so important. I have a lot of brochures over here that are going to help you to see what can happen with your heart, what can happen with your body as far as risk factors if you don't get enough sleep. So we're going to talk about it more, but I will be here for the rest of the meeting. And if you have any questions, come over, see Amber in Salt Lake City and Paige in Pittston. And again, I hope everybody does get some good sleep, and I hope all your driving is very healthy this month.
All right, thank you, Heather. Anybody have any
All right,
questions
thank
for
you.
Heather?
Good questions?
All right, thank you very much. Heather does a great job, and Heather and I work, daily together on the drivers that are, working with Cardinal Health or Cardinal Sleep, with their CPAP devices and everything. And, we do, as Heather mentioned, we have parts available at all 3 terminals, and we have the ability to overnight parts. So if you're out there, if you're on a CPAP device, something happens, make sure you reach out to Cardinal, because we can likely get that to you pretty quickly somehow. So.
No doubt. And, the last couple of speakers, we had Castor Key. Well, we'll go back to Colby, Colby and Rachel, Castor Key, obviously the logs, Brennan, and now we got, or not Brennan, but Donna, if I can remember her name now. That was pretty bad. But, and then Heather, it all factors in on safety. Everything rotates around safety. So our next person we got, Chris Martin?
Chris Martin, yeah.
Chris Martin, and Chris assigns our trainees, so you'll get to know him too as well. Signs them with the trainers, and a very important part, safety in operations. And you got a little operations background, don't you?
18 years as a fleet manager, yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Martin. I work in our training program here at Prime. I want to share some information with you today about the training program. And when we talk about training, when I'm talking about training, it's flatbed, it's tanker, it's refrigerated, so all divisions here, okay? And specifically, I want to hit on today, what does it take to qualify to be a trainer? And what is our safety department's role in the training program? Okay? I think that's important for everybody to know. If you're training already, you need to know that. You probably already know most of this. Maybe you're about to be a trainee and you want to know who's going to be training me. Okay. Or maybe you're not involved in the training program, but you still talk about it, right? In the cafeteria, if you're on social media. And I just want to make sure that we're all saying the same things. We're all saying the right things. Okay. So let's talk about, how do you qualify to be a trainer? Okay. So I'm a driver and I want to be a trainer. That conversation starts with your fleet manager, right? And one of the first things they're going to look at is they're going to just look to see, real simple, have you had a license for 6 months, and have you had your own truck for 60 days? Okay, 6 months and 60 days. Pretty easy to figure out. Is that long enough to train somebody? We're going to talk about that here in a second, okay? That's the first thing they'll look at. If you're leasing a truck, we want to look to see that you've had the ACE2 class. That's our business training class. So you're profitable. I want to know that you can teach someone else how to be profitable. So we're going to have you take the ACE2 class. So 6 months, 60 days, we've had ACE2. The next step is we're going to get some other departments involved to check off on you, give you the green light. Okay? That's going to be the logs department, the training department, and the safety department. Okay? So those 3 departments all have to give you the green light. They all got to check off. If any one of them says, hey, we need to be doing something a little bit better, then we don't get to train yet. Okay? Specifically, we're looking at log points, how you use your PC, your net fuel cost, are you profitable? Do you deliver on time? Do you have cargo claims? Do you run the network? Okay? From a safety standpoint, we're looking at accidents, critical events. Have you had tickets? We're going to look at all of those things to qualify you to be a trainer. And if you hit all the marks, you get approved. The next step is to come in and take class. Okay? But if you remember one thing, and I'm not going to talk real long here today, I just want to be very clear that our safety department has a very strong presence in the training program. Okay? As far as what we teach in the training program, the safety department helps determine that. How long we train, the safety department helps determine that. Who gets to train, who gets to be a trainee, who gets to continue to train or continue to be a trainee, who gets to get into their own truck after they train. All of that depends on the safety department. They take a look at that. They help us determine that. Okay. So I just, again, I want to be very clear that the safety department has a very strong presence in the training program. And I think they tell you that our training program is probably the best way to make our fleet safer overall. Okay. Before I go, if you're a trainer or you're an instructor, you don't have a trainee or a student right now and you want one, make sure your fleet manager knows it. Tell them this morning so they can get a hold of me. If you're somebody that's interested in training or has questions, do I qualify? Ask your fleet manager this morning, okay? And hopefully the answer is yes. If the answer is no, then the next question is, what do I need to do to qualify? What can I do to get better? And I can help you do that, okay? Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, Chris. Chris is going to be over here if anybody has any questions about training or our training program specifically to answer those for you. So, you know, before we go any further, you know, as Dave was mentioning earlier, you know, there's a lot of important things that go into this business, but hopefully the theme of this meeting, you realize that you are the number one asset out there on the road, your safety, your health, all the above. So we want you taking care of you. We want you to be safe. We want you to be, you know, the captain of your ship. You're going to hear that a lot here at Prime. So you have anything you want to add to that, Dave?
No, John's right on. And, you know, we need to acknowledge a big group of folks in here too, as well, that help us be successful and help you. And that's all of our vendors back there. So all the vendors, if you could all please stand, recognize, give us a wave, man. Thank you for doing what you do. We got all of our reps from, you name it, from all the tractors, the trailers, inside and out. If you have any questions, Freightliner truck, Peterbilt, whatever, hey, make sure you go see them after the meeting. If you don't know which one's which, ask one of us up here. We'll get you in contact with them. So they do a great job of making us successful and making you successful out on the road too. So
absolutely. So, you know, next, I don't know if you guys noticed, I tried to be pretty patriotic today. I got my red, white, and blue on.
Are those Jordans you're wearing?
They are Jordans. Yeah.
Man,
you know, fancy, right?
You and Dennis, you guys can wear the Jordans, man. I don't say I can't. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so if you'll notice, you know, the speakers up here today, we've all got red on, and red stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. And every week, you know, it's our privilege to honor anybody that served in our military. If you served in our armed forces, please stand up. Let us recognize you at all three terminals and let us thank you for your services.
All right.
We get a lot of folks standing up every week, and I love it.
Yeah, that's great. We really support them, and they support us. But yeah, military, especially those that are serving overseas, you know, that's important parts. You know, and that's what we do here. We appreciate all of our military folks. So, also too, little housekeeping notes as well. If you got questions on your app, you got not for sure what's going on, if it's broken, not working right for you, whatever. Brian and Richard, right to my right, to your left, they're over here after the meeting. Stop up and see them. Definitely use that Prime mobile app. That's what makes us makes you more efficient, but makes us all successful. That device has really made a difference here. So.
Absolutely. Make sure you know how to navigate through that, know where your permits, your documents are. You know, almost anything you need is on that app right there. So, well, let's bring up the big dogs here.
Yeah, let's do. We got some big dogs this morning. So first, our president, Daryl Hopkins, is going to give us a little update on Trinity Health and some changes going on. So good morning, Daryl, and welcome.
Good morning. If you haven't picked up on it yet, this company cares about your health. You know, you've heard Driver Health and Fitness speak. You heard Cardinal Sleep speak. You can see we've got a great fitness facility behind us. And if you haven't been downstairs, it's like Medical Mile. I mean, we've got Cardinal Sleep, we've got Trinity Health, we've got Happy Spine Chiropractic. So we really are trying to do everything we can to help you guys and gals be just as healthy as you can be, because it's a tough profession. Unfortunately, even if you're a doctor, your health is at risk. And so Dr. Abraham, who's ran Trinity Health for us for years and is just a fantastic doctor, Unfortunately, he's facing some health issues of his own, and he believes that it's keeping him from providing the quality and the amount of healthcare that we all need, and that is kind of holding back some. And so he's decided to step aside and retire. And so coming in will be a new healthcare provider, Dr. Luke Van Kirk. And Dr. Luke, we've talked to him several times. He's a great guy. He's much like Dr. Abraham. He's very progressive. He's looking at creative ways to give you better access to your healthcare. So the standard insurance will still be there, but he's got other programs that if you want to look into that can give you even greater access. And so, you know, we just sincerely hate to lose Dr. Abraham. He's just a wonderful guy and a wonderful doctor, and his care is over the top. And so we wish him the greatest success in his own health and the things he endeavors. But we do have at least a great option coming in that'll step in and continue that service. That'll happen as of April 1st. If you're a patient right now of Dr. A, you'll get an email, and he'll send all your records, transfer them right over to Command Health, which is Dr. Luke's facility. You'll need to go in and click on a link and release it. Dr. Luke can't look at it unless you tell him it's okay. But that will be coming. And so, again, we wish Dr. A the best, great guy. But we want you to know that, hey, our services will continue. We'll have the things you need to keep your health up. And we just encourage you to take advantage of what we offer. We put it out there for you, but you have to take advantage of it. You have to take advantage of DHF, of Cardinal Sleep, of the facilities, of the people downstairs. Make use of it because it's there for you. Any questions or comments on that?
Any questions at all? Oh, hold on.
Will Dr. Luke physically be on site, or will we be dealing with underlings, or how does that work?
So Dr. Luke will be on site some. He won't be here all the time, and neither was Dr. A, honestly. So he'll still be here on a daily basis for a certain number of hours. He'll, determine what's the best hours for everybody. But one of the neat things about his program is he's got programs that, if you're interested, will give you access to his phone number pretty much 24/7. So he's got some interesting approaches to health that he thinks that people sometimes don't come down because they have to make an appointment. So he's got other options where you can come at him a different way and get immediate answers to questions. Or he has more than one doctor. He has more than one office in town too, by the way. So you could actually access him in other places if that was necessary. So it should be a nice step towards improving the healthcare.
Any other questions for Daryl?
All right. Thank you all very much.
Turn it over to Steve.
Yeah, let's go, man.
All right.
Heavy hitter, Steve Woodkey, Vice President of Sales.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks very much. Now, I just want to make a declaration here. I bleed red for our folks deployed, so I didn't get my red on, but I'm bleeding it right now, and really appreciate everybody that served in the armed forces for our country. Yeah, you new folks, I hope you get the message. We're all about health and wellness and safety. While, let me tell you, safety is our highest calling. Service is important. It's a very close second, but we care more about safety than anything else. So you all believe me on that? If you do, raise your hand. If you believe safety is our highest calling, give it to me. Okay, now, do y'all wear your seatbelt? Hello? Yeah? If you wear your seatbelt, you do believe in safety. If you don't wear your seatbelt, you're lying to us. Man, that is low-hanging fruit. And our CSA scores are really important to us. And when you get written up for not having your seatbelt on, that hurts everybody. So please keep that in mind. And you new folks, you're entering a dangerous profession. There's always some four-wheeler out there wanting to wreck you. And you need to be prepared. When you get behind that wheel, you got to be mentally ready. You got to be just completely alert and totally engaged. It's dangerous. We don't want to hurt anybody, and we don't want to see you get hurt. So I hope you understand as you progress in your professional career that safety is supremely important. You know, on the service side, though, I'll tell you, you all do it better than anybody else in the country. Our service really has helped us through some of these big bid processes that we go through. And it gives us a little bit of a leg up on the pricing side. You know, some of our customers like buying low price. And our strategy is not being low price. Our strategy is being low cost. And oftentimes there's a huge delta between price and cost. So that comes through lack of claims, better service, no fines against the shipper for running late. All those things come into play when we start talking about how Prime delivers service. So we thank you very much for what you do. Oftentimes, people try to commoditize transportation. Listen, it's not a commodity. We are completely different than our competition. So as you get out there, you think about who you're representing. Number one, you're representing yourself. Number two, your company and your customers. So please keep that in mind. One thing I want to tag on to Chris's discussion about how to become a trainer. Let me tell you, they look at personal hygiene and they're going to check your truck. And they're not going to let you train if you come in there smelling like a billy goat and having a lot of trash in your truck. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I like it. You like that, didn't you? Yeah. You know, it's important. Personal hygiene is really important. So please keep that in mind. Again, you're representing yourself and your company. And our customers really like good operators that are on top of their A game. Okay. Now, I thank you all. Business is a little tough right now, but we're winning a lot of these bids. These bids are getting into play now. March 1 through April 1. We're seeing a lot of awards for us, and we're going to hang in there. You all doing a terrific job. It is a tough, it's a tough environment right now, but we're seeing a lot of capacity come out of the marketplace. You cannot run this business at 95 cents a mile or $1 a mile. Just won't work. That's not the way we roll. So you keep giving us good service and we'll keep selling it. Okay. Hang in there. Spring is coming. Every day we get closer. So thank you all. I'm going to introduce Robert Lowe. He started this company a few years ago.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for doing that.
I thought I was going to have to get the hook out to get you out of here. My goodness. And hey, let me tell you something. Don't you go into any of our customers smelling like a billy goat either.
Ain't happening.
That ain't going to fly.
Ain't happening.
No, that's not Steve. Not in a while anyway. He hasn't smelled like a billy goat in a long time. So anyway, it's good to see you all. Welcome to our new folks. You've chosen a good place. I mean, we ain't perfect, but if you work with us, we'll get better. You know, this business, as Steve points out, is all about providing good service, safety, doing it efficiently, and having a little fun at it too. You know, you got to have a little fun. So those are big themes around here. And again, I thank you for being here. I look forward to working with you, each of you. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate it very much, and I thank you for it. God bless you, and please be safe.
I'm gonna do that now.